today's video, I want to share with you 2 reasons why I personally believe private money lending is not just the best way for you to invest, but it is the best way for you to get started if you want to be a real estate investor. Now, that's a bold statement, but I'm going to share with you my 2 reasons. Now, first and foremost, I want to make sure that you understand what is private money lending. Okay? Those of us in the space, we refer to it as being a PML. What is private money lending? Well, private money lending is simply an individual who has money, lending that money to an investor, and whether it's a residential investment or commercial investment, the private money lender secures their loan to that investor by that piece of real estate or through that piece of real estate. Now, there are certain instruments that private money lenders are going to have as security. It's going to be a promissory note, a deed of trust, and there may be some other documents depending on what state or what the circumstances are. But for the most part, if I'm an investor and I have a property and I bring a private money lender in, a PML, and there's a certain dollar amount I'm asking them to lend, well, of course, we're going to have to agree to the terms. Once we agree to the terms, I'll draft up, or my TC or the attorney or title company, whoever I'm using, I'll draft up a promissory note spelling out the terms. I'll draft up a deed of trust. Of course, I here in Georgia will want my attorney to vet it to make sure that it's all good. We will send it to the private money lender. Once they agree to it and check all the boxes and they're good, prior to closing, the private money lender will wire the money that they're lending to the attorney, or if you're somewhere where it's with a title company, I'm going to use my experience as an example. The money will be wired to the closing attorney, whether it's pre-closing, or there are times when private money lenders are brought in on deals post-closing. Either way, once they wire the money, once we close, or if it's post-closing, my attorney is going to take that deed of trust and record it at the county where the property is, and that private money lender will have a lien holder's position on that piece of real estate. Now, depending on what position they hold, that will be determined by who's already a lien holder. For example, if there's a loan from the bank on that property, the bank is first lien holder. The private money lender comes behind the bank, they're the second lien holder. So that's private money lending. Now, again, why do I say this is the best way to invest? And how is it the best way to get started? Well, as an investor, okay, we're gonna explain this as an investor, and then we'll explain this as a private money lender. As an investor, it is absolutely the best way, because if an investor needs capital to acquire property, they're either going to have to go to a bank, which could be a large institution. They're either going to go to a hard money lender, or they're going to have a private money lender. If they're going to go to a bank, let's just say, for example, if I go to my lender and I have a certain property that I want to purchase, and we underwrite it and we start the process with the mortgage company, I may have to put down maybe 15 to 25%. Most of the times it's going to be somewhere around 25%. I'm going to have a credit score. I'm going to have to fill out documentation. This can be, depending on how complicated the deal is and the process is, this can be as quick as 3 weeks. It could be as far out as 6 weeks. So let's just say it may take 1 month, just generally speaking, 1 month, but it's going to take maybe the lowest 15%, maybe 25% to get into this deal. A hard money lender, it may not be a month. It could very well be a couple weeks. But there's going to be some points, which is a form of money that you have to put up. It's going to be interest only. It's going to be higher. It's going to be riskier. The deal has to be juicier. Like, there are a lot of factors, even though hard money lending is a thing, but it's not just that simple. With a private money lender, it's their money. You agree with them on the terms, no points, no complications like hard money lenders. A lot of times it may not be a whole lot of underwriting depending on your relationship, because they may be depending on you more than you're depending on them to underwrite it. And there's no extensive paperwork and credentials and credit reports like banks and large institutions. So just for that alone, as an investor, you definitely want private money, and you don't mind paying a premium, which typically is somewhere around 10% interest only payments. So for example, if a private money lender lends me $50,000 at a 10% return, that's $5,000. If our term is for a year and we break that $5,000 interest only return up over the course of a year in the form of monthly payments, we're talking about $400-something a month. At the end of the 12 months after the last payment, they get their $50,000 back. The lien is released. If it's a fix and flip, it will be sooner. Maybe the payments are shortened. But my point is, it's an easier transaction. This is definitely the way to go. Now, for the private money lender, why is this the best route? Well, for one, if you've never bought a property, if you've never fixed a property up, flipped it, if you've never been a landlord, if you've never done property management, if you don't know the ins and outs, well, becoming a private money lender to an investor, it becomes a gateway. And sometimes it becomes a free gateway for you to get into the business. Why? Because what investor wouldn't want to show you some of the ins and outs and ropes of the business of investing when you're open to loan them money on deals? So I have private money lenders that I work with, and they may want to just go see the property. They may want to ride by. They take pride in being able to stop at a real property and see that, wow, I'm a part of this deal. I'm invested in this. My money is tied into this, and I'm getting payments every month because of this property or that property or these three properties. So for a private money lender, it becomes a real gateway. As a private money lender, it also gets you out of off of the sideline and out of this world of not being able to get your money to work for you. Because if you've got money sitting in a bank, in a retirement account, in a savings or money market, or in something that's not generating monthly interest only payments to you, guess what? This is a quick way for you to get in. Imagine if you have $50,000 in a retirement account. You create a self-directed IRA, and boom, you put that $50,000 in a deal, and within 30 days you start getting checks or wires of $400 and something a month, never losing the $50,000, and having security instruments where you are a lien holder on a real piece of property that if for any reason the investor disappears, you are able to see your money in that property. So for me, private money lending is the way. Now, as an investor, you have to know what you're doing. You have to make sure that you operate with the highest level of integrity, assuming the fiduciary responsibility for the people that you're bringing in. As a private money lender, you don't have the hassle of tenants, toilets, and termites, because you are essentially the bank. And the bank is not in the business of tenants, toilets, and termites. The bank is in the business of having the security of the property that's dealing with the tenants, the toilets, and the termites, but the bank is just making the bank. So these are my two reasons why I believe this is the best and the best way for you as a future investor to get in the business of investing, because you are able to use this as a gateway. You become the bank, you support and sponsor the deals, and you learn a lot about the ins and outs of real estate investing in the process. As an investor, this gives you the speed to deal. So now you're not dealing with hard money lenders who are going to get money anyway. You're not dealing with banks and institutions. You're dealing with real people, many of whom you may have a relationship with, you may love, and really want to see win and succeed. And this gives them an opportunity to take the money that they have in their lives, invest it into you by securitizing that with real estate, and they're able to succeed and make money, and both of you are in a win-win situation. And guess what? You make a lot of money, you help a lot of people, and you build a great relationship in the process.